Hi, Zols.
Inquisitor.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Brilliant, isn't it? One moment you're trying to restore order in a world gone mad. That should be enough for anyone to handle, yes? Then, out of nowhere, an archdemon appears and kicks you in the head. What? You thought this would be easy? No, I was just hoping you wouldn't crush our village like an anthill. Sorry about that. Archdemons like to crush, you know. Can't be helped. I suppose a proper introduction is called for, now that we're not running for our lives. Dorian of House Parvus, most recently of the Tevinter Imperium. I was at Redcliffe when the Venatori assumed command of your southern mages. I only wish I could have given more warning.
What you did for us at Haven was very brave.
It was, wasn't it? Throwing in... I always assumed the Elder One behind the Venatori was a Magister. But this is something else completely. In Tevinter, they say the Chantry's tales of Magisters starting the Blight are just that. Tales. But here we are. One of those very Magisters. A dark spawn.
Who does the Imperium say started the Blight?
You know how it is. Not us. They say Darkspawn were always there. Magisters and the Blight aren't even related. Is that a surprise? No one wants to admit they shit the bed. But if Corypheus is one of the Magisters who entered the Black City and he's Darkspawn, what other explanation is there?
Why does that make you angry?
Because the Imperium is my... I knew what I was taught couldn't be the whole truth, but I assumed there had to be a kernel of it. Somewhere. But no. It was us all along. We destroyed the world.
You didn't do anything. Those men did.
True, except that one of them is up and walking around right now. Not to mention I have idiot countrymen who would happily follow him down that path again. I have no intention of letting Corypheus win. Not without someone from Tevinter standing against him. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay and help the Inquisition.
We can use all the help we can get.
No one will thank me whatever happens. No one will thank you either. You know that, yes?
That's not why I'm doing this.
I knew there was something clever about you. All I know is this. Men like him ruined my homeland.
Yes, this is
I
good.
won't stand by and let him ruin the world. Oh, and congratulations on that whole leading the Inquisition thing, by the way. Roderick, that Chantry fellow who led us through the mountain from Haven. You know he died, I assume. Got us as far as the camp, and then... that was it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I helped him walk. He... talked about you quite a bit. He just needed to be sure you were Andraste's chosen. He was terrified of what it meant, if it were true. But in the end, he believed. He asked me to tell you he was sorry.
Thank you for telling me about that.
I thought it was important. Anyway, we can talk about something else if you'd rather.
I'm curious why you were in Redcliffe in the first place.
Looking up an old mentor of mine. A magister by the name of Alexius. Good fellow. Always thought highly of him. Then one day, he asks me to join the Venatori. I don't know what he was thinking. He knew I wanted to change Tevinter, not regress it into prehistoric madness. The Venatori killed Alexius, once he stopped being useful.
Seems odd he would get involved with the Venatori at all.
That's right.
Ja, det går kontakta.
I'd hoped to persuade him to leave Redcliffe.
I suppose he had his reasons. People will do odd things when they're strung over a barrel. Either that, or I didn't really know Alexius at all.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities, believe me.
Of course I believe you. The moment I saw you, I thought, there's a man who knows quality. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family.
Yeah.
We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
What did you mean by
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
I'm getting the impression you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Why remain with the Inquisition?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree. But that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard it.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about...
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soterati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule, then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically. The potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
But let me ask...
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there?
Jaha,
With its
undrar
own
också
divine.
något.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium?
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true Divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south.
Det är coolt.
Something from a bygone age. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I'm not surprised. It's not an opinion you should share.
You did ask, if you'll recall. I'll say this.
In me.
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or you, are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger, the world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask...
So many questions.
That's all I want.
Fair enough.
I should go.
Here I thought we would just...
Där, jag har lärt mig ganska mycket nu. Hej Jana.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
The names of those we lost. You must blame me for this.
We all saw who attacked us. We know exactly who to blame.
I keep wondering if I could have done something different. When the first of my lookouts went missing, I pulled the rest back, awaiting more information. If they'd stayed in the field, they could have bought us more time. I was afraid to lose my agents. And instead, we lost Haven.
More likely they would have stayed out there, died, and we would have lost Haven anyway.
You don't know that. Their lives could have bought Haven a small chance. My people know their duty. They know the risks. They understand that the Inquisition will call upon them to give their lives.
Our people aren't tools to be used and discarded. Your instincts were right. Their lives matter.
Can we afford such sentimentality? What if Corypheus...
We are better than Corypheus.
Our agents have encountered more followers of Corypheus. Their leader, Calpurnia, has them searching elven ruins. For what, I do not know. I propose we stop the Venatori before they find what they seek.
Do you know anything about Calpurnia?
Only that Calpurnia is a name from ancient Tevinter legend. She was a priestess of Dumat, foster mother to the founder. A name like that is meant to assure the Venatori they follow in the footsteps of legends. We must prove them wrong.
I'm pleased to see my spymaster is on top of the matter.
I try. These Venatori have been shadowing a merchant called Vicinius. They've investigated his finances. So, I propose that you meet with Vicinius. Flatter him. Find out what he knows of Calpurnia.
Vicinius sounds like a Tevinter name.
Born in Tallow. Although he claims to be from Virantium, he sells rare oils and amber, and prefers red wine to white.
What side of the bed does he sleep on?
He's unremarkable. I cannot think why Calpurnia would care.
What if Vicinius is as much in the dark as we are?
It never hurts to eliminate an avenue. They have contacts and spies, just as we do. The sooner you speak with Vicinius, the better.
We need him to open up about these bloodthirsty cultists. I'll bring wine.
Vicinius could be a useful ally. Merchant, I'll make arrangements for you to visit his summer home. Hopefully, your attention should be enough to pique his interest.
Inquisitor, is it true? Is the mark on your hand magic cast by Corypheus?
Corypheus claimed it's a spell gone wrong.
I wanted to think it was a blessing. A sign the maker... How credulous of me.
Perhaps the Maker set these events in motion so long ago, we can no longer see his hand in them.
It would be fitting if that were true. Does it hurt? The anchor, that is.
Not pain, it's more like my nerves go on fire.
It sounds most unpleasant. Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies.
Any visiting?
You may see the Countess Lutetia in the halls. A lovely... She's the patron of our lake.
That doesn't sound...
She goes into great detail about preserving them. It seems to involve large amounts of chemicals and pins. Greetings.
How do you and Leliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles in Norlay. I believe we actually met in Val Royeaux. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game by then.
What exactly do you mean when you say, the game?
Forgive me. The game refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful of Orlais. It's a rather light-hearted name for the matter, but Orlesians are fond of playful touches.
What exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries, and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
Then you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles.
Vital decisions are yours, Inquisitor, but someone must foster goodwill on your behalf, as well as prevent controversy as news of us spreads.
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake. Every noble house, every throne, is waiting to see what the Inquisition does next. Many are willing to pledge support, if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
Tell me how you came to work for the...
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's such unrest in Thedas, and the Inquisition seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading further.
So, was it the prospect of
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt. And that was before the death of... The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to full-scale war.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
Let's speak later.
Farewell.
Yeah, summon War Council. It will help. They always do.
Let's see what we have. My scouts report no signs of danger in the pass nearby.
I will arrange patrols to ensure it stays that way.
Let us begin.
Inquisitor?
The Arcanist has arrived?
You should see for yourself.
Hello there.
You're tiny.
Well, don't just stand there slack-jawed. Let's figure out what you need.
You're the magical advisor?
You're him. The Inquisitor. I'm Dagna. Arcanist Dagna. It's an honor, your worship. Is that it? The hand anchor. Breach was pretty too. In a destroy everything sort of way.
I welcome you to the Inquisition. I look forward to...
Me too. I've heard some impossible things. I love impossible things. Those are the best to make, well, possible. I've looked at Harrod's devices. Precision is fantastic, but no disrespect meant to the classical trades, but you need a new perspective. I've made adjustments. As long as I keep making them, you can craft just about anything. Almost safely.
You were quick to join the Inquisition.
How could I waste a chance to get close to you? And Corypheus, my good... Also, dwarves? We don't dream. So, when mages talk about it, I can only... well, dream what it would be like. So there's that, and all the things you'll probably find, and what I'll get to make. Plus, you're paying me a lot. Like, Wow, so much.
You seemed impressed by the anchor.
I heard what everyone says what you heard Coryphia say. It's a long chain of loose end ones. To me, it says key. The keys do a lot of things. Open, lock, switch. Some open one thing, some open everything. It sounds like Coryphius made it to open, but it looks like you can use it to close. It may be that simple. It sure is pretty. Wish I could see through it.
I'll see you.
I can't wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a one-handed sword. How much damage I do? 105? What is my... Where's the Melik's Fist to get this more damage? I'm gonna keep it. Nej. Yay.
What can you tell me about...
I'm not exactly an expert, but ask away and I'll answer what I can.
How did you first encounter him?
A few years back, I was dealing with some trouble from a Carter clan that went rogue. They were sending assassins after the Hawk family. We tracked them to a ruin in the Vimarks. It turned out to be a trap. Once you went far enough into the whole thing was a prison the Grey Wardens were using to hold what they thought was a powerful Darkspawn.
I've never heard of Wardens locking up Darkspawn.
I don't think they could. From what we saw in there, Corypheus can control Wardens somehow. They couldn't attack him. The Wardens locked him up because there was nothing else they could do.
He looks like some sort of blighted creature, but he speaks.
The Wardens who imprisoned him thought he was just a Darkspawn. But you heard him ranting. He claims he's a Magister. One who assaulted the Golden City, what, more than 1,000 years ago? It seems crazy, but if he's telling the truth, he's one of the people who caused the Blights.
You and Hawk both said before he was supposed to be dead.
He was dead. We killed him. The only way for us to escape the prison Corypheus was trapped in was to go through him. We weren't going to just leave the door to his prison open behind us and hope he was dead. We made sure.
All right.
No problem.
At your service.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I think the entire world is looking over its shoulder, wondering if the Inquisition's watching.
What do you think of my advisors?
He's got the look of a man who's been through too much. He's seen the best and the worst of humanity, and I think he still struggles with where that leaves him. Still, I trust him to watch my back.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Dorian? He's arrogant. He preens himself. But you already know that. He doesn't even hide it.
You must have...
Madame Vivian only allied with the Inquisition because she knows it will bring her power. The most poisonous snakes are often the most beautiful.
You must have...
Have you seen the stories Varric's been writing? His descriptions of me are colorful, to say the least.
What do you think?
Cullen. He's seen the vet. Still, I trust him to watch my back. Leliana seems nice. Also a little frightening, but mostly nice.
You're not saying that for my benefit, are you? Are you so certain you're being watched?
Are you so certain we aren't? I don't want to wake up with a blade in my kidneys if I can help it.
You must have...
You're eyeing the Lady Seeker, aren't you? I can see why. She's definitely striking. A little stern, though.
I'd say she's a lot stern.
She's a warrior. That's all she knows. And it's suited her thus far. As you wish.
What's going on? See you.
Night.
You knew where Hawk was all along!
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit!
You kidnapped me! You interrogated me! What did you expect?
Hey! Enough!
You're taking his side?
I said enough!
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. Hawk was our only hope. He was the champion of Kerr, and you kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
Varric's not responsible for what happened at the Conclave.
I was protecting my friend.
Varric is a liar, even after the Conclave, when we needed...
He's with us now. We're on the...
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
He did bring Hawk. Late, perhaps. As are you.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
I believed him. He spun his story for me, and I swallowed it. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
What if you hadn't believed him, and you tracked Hawk down?
Honestly, Hawk might not even have agreed to become Inquisitor. He supported the Mage Rebellion, after all. He wouldn't have trusted me for a second. But this isn't about Hawk, or even Varric. Not truly. I should have been more careful. I don't deserve to be here.
Have you looked at our Inquisition, Cassandra? We're all fools here.
Is that supposed to make me feel better?
More at home, maybe.
I want you to know. Maybe if we'd found Hawk, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. I don't know how it will end. But...
Inquisitor? Is there something I can do for you? I should really focus my attention on the...
Do we have...
Fewer, but as for the rest, I try to make the passing painless. Your worship.
I can talk with you. It's made from people.
I'd like to talk with you about Templars.
They're heavy with forgotten songs, like Varric. Some of them are too loud. It's hard to stay near them. Cullen is softer, but demons asked questions that hurt him. Evangeline was kinder. I want to explain, but Rhys's mother spoke to spirits, but not to him. Then she died for a Templar he loved. Words just bounce off the edges.
What's your general opinion of Templar?
Some like hurting mages. It makes them dreams again. Woke up shaking, stalking the ground for one who looks like her. Always some rule being broken. But not all Templars listen when whispers crawl around inside them. They try to protect people. Like Cullen. The good ones remember that mages are people.
Can you tell me more about how the Templars feel to you?
They feel older than they look. They've been changed, and their bodies are incomplete now. The lyrium helps, but their bodies always want to connect to something old. That's why they block magic. They reach for that other thing, and magic has no room to come in. Like when I listen to Varric.
Can you tell me more about...
The red lyrium is different, darker, daggers under the skin. It eats you inside until you're nothing. They hear a different song. The song behind the door old whispers want opened. They are dead and dark and done.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
What have you done now?
I get it, Seeker. You're still sore after our...
I'm not a child, Varric.
a peace offering.
This is your doing.
Oh, yes. Do you really think I'd miss this?
Well...
Wait!
You're probably wondering what happens to the Knight Captain after the last chapter.
Nothing should happen to her. She was falsely accused.
Well, it turns out the guardsmen...
Don't tell me!
This is the part where you thank the Inquisitor. I don't normally give sneak peeks, after all.
Thank you.
This was everything I'd hoped.
I know how you feel.
I wonder if I have time to read the first part.
Don't forget to tell all your friends, if you have any. Completely worth it.
Well, fine. Well, then. Dorian doesn't have armor. I should give him armor. I should have made him it. Why doesn't Dorian have armor? Not have picked Dorian if he doesn't have. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Snickerman, spare. No, wait. If I'm going to do this, why don't you just go to Black Emporium and get my armor there? Go back to Skyhold and make it. Then I have to go pee. Can I shove on crossbows on Bianca? Weapons.
Where's my back scratcher?
Schematics. Yeah, weapon.
Someone emptied a whole bag of turnips into the fire. Ah, Maker, the smell is everywhere. I was going to use them for dinner and then...
Go to quarters. Nu kan jag visa det här för när de fixar till det här. Fint ställe. Oh ja, special occasions. Nej, vi har Harvard. Jag ska vara River. Just det.
They have certainly spared no expense.
Nope. Det är fint. Eller spelat. Det är skönt.
Better and better. What can't we do in a place like this?
Där har vi någonting. Silk.
The pen is mightier than my arms.
Yes. Modify.
show me what...
Do you want fire? Here's how it goes. Bring me the rare stuff for enchanting or masterworks and prep it here, just like normal. Except it's not normal. It's manipulate. They'll all see. What can I do for you?
Dagna.
Here's how.
Du ser det här går.
Impressive, is it not? Fit for a lead. It is where the Inquisition will sit in judgment. Where you will sit in judgment.
Who will I be judging, exactly?
Those who have done wrong. You will know of them, at the very least. All this presumes they have survived their initial encounter with you, of course.
Still more lives in my hand.
You are a beacon of law, Inquisitor, as others retreat from responsibility. But this needn't be bloody. The Inquisition's sovereignty is... Justice has many tools. If their application is clever, execute...
Is there anyone I should judge?
Take the throne when you're ready.
Help me do one, because I hate these things. They can change the fucking game.
Knight Captain Denham, Inquisitor. He awaits judgment for serving the Lord Seeker at Therenfall Redoubt. I knew some of the knights who died there. I asked to oversee his sentencing. The Envy Demon perhaps fooled the Knight Captain, but following his superior's orders nearly destroyed the Templars.
I hope the Knight Captain is lucid enough to understand what he's done.
I only did as I was told.
Knowingly or not, you condemned your brothers and sisters to death.
You would have done the same if you hadn't abandoned the Order. I served faithfully. It went red after what the Lord Seeker told me to do.
I didn't suffer at your hands. That was your knights in the Templar Order. Let the remaining Templars judge the man who failed them.
The penalty will be death. They can't. Not after what I've seen.
Okay, that was less. I'm not taking care of this man's bitch. Vivian is right above me. And let's see who's who.
Someone left sliced plums on the windowsill again. The juice is attracting flies. There is...
Inquisitor. That's got a good ring to it. We're happy to be here, your worship. You need anything, let me know.
I'd like to know more.
The chief. First time I met, I never thought I'd work for Qunari, but he grows on you. He's not like any commander I've ever worked for. That's for damn sure.
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
If you know what you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. If he keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Bull isn't like that. The judges might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
Is it strange to work for a Qunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's charges don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
We'll talk. What can I do for you?
Right.
From Haven's Fire come we, the able true, to Skyhold now.
I hope I can help somehow. Maybe cleaning?
We are assembling quite the influential list of allies.
We could have stopped before that Black War.
They should have been born together, but instead they were bound by light.
I've heard about some oddities here in the keep. Was that you?
Yes. Maybe. What was it?
Someone is leaving peeled plums on the windowsill. It's attracting flies.
Spiders need to eat.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
The servants are having some trouble remembering some... Can I assume you're responsible for the turnips that have shown up in the fireplaces?
They don't smell the same raw. All right.
I'd like to talk...
What do you want to know?
What can you tell me about Reese?
He was a mage. He saw me when most couldn't, and he remembered. He helped me, and I watched over him. I worried about... She was a Templar, but she didn't like hurting. They should have been with the rebels. Maybe they ran away together instead. Neither of them like killing.
If you like, I could use the resources of the Inquisition to locate your friend.
No. If they are alive and... The last time he saw me, he didn't let him forget.
What was the Spire like when the Mage Rebellion started?
Dead and dying, begging and bloody. Some wanted freedom, some peace, some war. Some wanted it all to stop. Evangeline was a Templar, but she helped Reese help the others. She set them free. Adrian was a mage, but she killed mages to force the fight. She wanted blood. Reese just wanted to help, to stop people hurting. Maybe that's why he saw me.
What can you tell me about Adam?
It is old, full of sadness and... The veil is thin. We found a demon there. It had touched a man and made him real again. It scared Reese and Evangeline. The man... It put me back in the cupboard on the bad day. Reese and Evangeline saved me.
You said Seeker Lambert told you what you were.
I'm hiding Reese from him, but he chants words and sees. I won't let you hurt Reese. My nose explodes, a shower of blood. Just another parasite that's wormed its way into our world, feeding off all... What we found at Adamant made him angry. We were the first rock rolling at the top of a mountain. He had to stop us. He killed so many. He didn't care. Cold, corrupt.
If you hated Seeker Lambert, why go to the Seeker Fortress?
Because he was right. I was a demon. I saw demons at Adamant. They put people in the dark. I didn't want to be that. I heard the old songs of the Templar. If I forgot, fought, fell to felling, Templars would kill the demon. I wouldn't hurt anyone again. How do you know? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let me know if you find one.
Inquisitor. A title hard to rhyme. A challenge for a nut. Forgive me, my name is Meriden. A humble bard.
Are you a bard?
Oh, heavens no. I'm a minstrel first. My weapon is a cutting tongue, not blades. I hope my skills will help in some small way.
Carry on, then.
Oh,
Champion of Kirkwall. That's a fun title. I wonder if I would ever get Child of Champion. Nope, never. I'm more of a reaper and murder, destroy, and kill everything in sight.
What happened here?
Where's the man we're meeting?
Seems the Venatori tired of following him.
Let's look around. Shattered crystal. Let's find the pieces. Here's another one. The crystal's whole again, but hold on.
Lady Calpurnia, I had no intention.
I warned you of consequences should the slaves you bring me suffer in your care. Venatori, show him my displeasure.
No! Wait! Wait!
A dwarven relic, restoring memories. There's one or two in Minrathous. Very rare.
Dagna might know what to make of it.
That went fast. Fighting mages in a closed space is very dangerous for them and for you, because you have a hard time dodging their, you know, magic spells that take up a lot of space, like fire runes, immolation, frost runes. That is not fun to be hit by. It's very annoying and very irritating.
That got a little heated. Are you all right?
Well,
Why not look up in the air?
how angry is Cassandra? I wasn't trying to keep secrets. I told the Inquisition everything that seemed important at the time.
I know, Varric. You never would have kept quiet otherwise.
I keep hoping none of this is real. Maybe it's all some bullshit from the Fade and it'll just disappear. I know I need to do better. I'm sorry. Corypheus is back. Oh, shit.
You said he was a Darkspawn, or a Magister. What is he...
I'm not sure. He's definitely a Darkspawn, but when we found him, it was pretty obvious he hadn't heard that. He thinks he's a Magister, a priest of Dumat, in fact. He says he broke into the Golden City, like in the Chantry tale.
If you and Hawke defeated him once, we can do it again.
We didn't just think Corypheus. He was dead. No pulse, no breath, full of stab wounds. There wasn't a lot of room for doubt. It makes me wonder. I thought the Wardens imprisoned Corypheus to use him. Maybe they did it because he can't be killed.
How did you and Hawke even wind up in a Grey Warden prison?
Corypheus sent people after Hawke. He actually got control of an entire Carter clan. Made them drink Darkspawn blood. Weird shit. We tracked the Carter to an old dwarven fort or something. They needed Hawke's blood to open the locks holding Corypheus, and they drew us into the prison to get it.
There has to be a way to defeat Corypheus.
I hope you're right. Maker's breath, what have I let loose?
You had nothing to do with this, Varric.
I was the one who led Hawke to Corypheus. If I hadn't tracked the Carter to that ruin. But you've got more important things.
It's looking... Honored, Inquisitor. Gotzi Sturhall. Did my part on the walls. Now I'm on this strange collection you've brought us. Don't know its worth to the fight, exactly, but it's good workmanship.
Any ideas about the origin of these reliefs?
To Vinter, early. It's in the tool marks, the grain. That's hard dust mined from the 100 Pillars, if I know anything. Oh, I suppose the scene is probably full of...
The 100 Pillars?
Damnedest things. Massive spires that aren't stone. It's like a mortar. Don't know more than that. Strong, though.
Another time.
Best of...
Hello.
I need to know more about...
You shamed him when you destroyed Haven. Spoiled his glorious victory. It would be worse to acknowledge that you had done so. He must continue on his course or show weakness. He will return to his plans to throw Olay into chaos, and then conquer it for Divin.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
So, I assume you're Talvashot or something like.
Why would you assume that?
If you weren't, you would have split my skull open at our first meeting before I said a word. Centuries of warfare with the Qunari do lead to this state of affairs.
You've encountered Qunari before?
Qunari raids are rather old hat for anyone from the Eastern Imperium. Although the attacks aren't quite the rampaging wars of ages past. Now we're like two angry dowagers who only remember to spit at each other when they pass on the street.
Did you meet any Qunari personally?
None who weren't rushing towards me with a sword. I was too busy running in the other direction to say hello. I've met some Talbashoth in my time, however. Mercenaries and a few merchants. They're not the same as Qunari. Might easily be a different people altogether.
If only other people knew that.
It's a southerner thing. Most of them don't even know what a Qunari looks like. Forgive their ignorance, O mighty one. They shall learn proper fear in time.
If you've no problem with me, I've no problem with you.
A philosophy I've learned to live by.
No issue with my being Inquisitor, then?
None that specifically involve you being so very, very large. No.
Good. I should...
I do.
Greetings to you, Inquisitor. I am to serve as... You'll find my skills are exceptional. I hope they prove useful.
You were made tranquil?
Yes, I am tranquil. It was necessary due to a willful nature that made wielding magic a dangerous endeavor. I remember that being a difficult time, but I cannot remember why. My skills are what...
You're taking over the duties of Maeve?
Yes. Her death provided the vacancy. I am told there are many who will miss her. My skills will ensure that you do not miss her ability.
As you were.
Yes.
Your trip to the merchant's home yielded results. Before she became leader of the Venatori, Calpurnia was a slave from Minrathous. Even slaves with magic are treated unkindly in Tevinter. If Corypheus freed her, no wonder she follows him.
What else does her past reveal?
It haunts her. Calpurnia has freed every slave she's... Vicinius tracked his shipments. My agents will investigate. In the meantime, speak to Dagna.
I wonder if I can charm to Winter Magister. Huh? What was the old saying again? Reward to the what's it called? Reward to the bold or something like that.
This is an amazing find, Inquisitor. The Shaperid in Orzammar had something like it.
Greetings to you too, Dagna.
They preserve voices, or a likeness, memories.
These documents you found, Inquisitor, I've made interesting... discoveries.
Have no fear, demon.
But the power will draw them, unless you have wards against possession.
Once you have become the vessel, demons will be beneath your control.
I shall, Elder One.
Sod it. Oh, sorry. The crystal couldn't take anymore. Wasn't meant for this.
That looked like Corypheus and Calpurnia.
It was a memory stored in the crystal.
No, that was vital information. Did you see Calpurnia's expression? Their alliance may be less than harmonious.
Corypheus said Calpurnia was going to be a vessel. A vessel for what?
They spoke of power and demons. But Calpurnia is already a Magister. Corypheus must have some other plan.
The crystal showed us Calpurnia hasn't bought into Corypheus's myth just yet.
Well, I'm no shaper, but I might be able to get it to remember new sounds.
Really? If we hid it among Calpurnia's belongings, imagine what we could learn.
I can split it and keep half here. We could hear her speaking right then. It's not how they're supposed to work, and it'll probably break. As I said, I'm no shaper.
Inquisitor, Calpurnia's Venator... If this crystal were placed in a lair, I cannot overstate the value of what we might learn.
Why not attack?
You attract attention, Inquisitor. A single agent may slip in and out without notice. This crystal may yield great rewards.
Right, simple. Dagna, any chance it'll work?
Oh, there's always a chance. I mean, yes.
If there's a rift growing between Corypheus and Calpurnia, we must exploit it.
I'll have the crystal ready soon. I think. Let me find the Quicksilver.
And what else did Lady Forsythia say? That she'd rather drown herself than help the Inquisition. Anything else? She said she'd have us flogged alive if we allied with her brother.
That does sound like her.
Cheer up, Josie. We at least have her attention.
You always do find the brighter side of things. We are in the midst of cementing an alliance with Lady Forsythia of Nevarra, your worship. It's become a somewhat delicate task.
Can I do anything to help negotiations?
Thank you, but I believe I dissuaded her from sending soldiers when she learned we'd struck an accord with a brother she's feuding with. Lady Forsythia simply employs a colorful manner of speech.
You're rather good-natured about threats of death and dismemberment.
They are chiefly bluster, Inquisitor. Most of them. But I confess I do miss my staff from the embassy in Antiva. It was always useful to discuss the day's visitors with them.
I have time, if you'd like to review things with me.
I wouldn't wish to impose.
If it were imposing, I wouldn't have offered.
Well, I admit there are a few potential alliances. Right on the parlor floor, in front of everyone at the soiree. Who does such a thing in front of their guests?
The Duke of Kellington, apparently.
And then there's Cole's lurking. It frightens our guests half to death. Lord Gennard still won't respond to our letters. And Sarah, can she not find a single overshirt without mustard stains on it? Then there's Dorian. The man refuses to take anything seriously unless it suits its whim. Not to mention... Oh goodness. Have we been here an hour already?
2.5 hours, I think, but no one's counting.
Oh, dear. I didn't intend to go on for so long. You must think me quite the gossip.
Spending time with such an engaging woman is never unpleasant, Lady Mortillier.
Goodness. I'm glad I haven't wasted your day. Well, I've taken up quite enough. Until next time.
Right.
any help finding this woman who leads the Venatori, I do keep contacts in Tevinter.
Thank you, but I must involve as few people as possible. Calpurnia has a gift for ferreting out spies close to her door. Let's see what we have.
Inquisitor?
Varför nu?